In the Gospel of Thomas, there's a passage describing how Jesus identified who could receive the deepest teachings. He looked at their eyes, not reading emotion, not assessing character. He was looking for a specific pattern in the iris that only appears in monad incarnations, a geometric signature that can't be faked because it's the physical manifestation of monad frequency encoded in your biology. Jesus used this pattern to separate monad souls from human souls, because monad souls could handle the activation techniques. Human souls couldn't. The few disciples who received the inner circle teachings all had the pattern. Jesus verified it before teaching them anything beyond basic parables. And the church removed this from Scripture because it reveals something they can't allow people to know. Not everyone is the same. Some are monad consciousness, incarnated temporarily. Most are human souls native to this realm. And you can tell the difference by looking at eyes. The pattern is still there, in certain people, right now, and you can see it in your own mirror if you know what you're looking for. Modern chosen ones who discovered this pattern in their eyes reported the same thing. Instant recognition, like remembering who they are, not learning something new, remembering something forgotten. Tonight you're learning the exact pattern Jesus identified, the 3 types he looked for, and you're checking your own eyes before you sleep. Because if you have it, everything you've suspected about yourself gets confirmed tonight. If you're checking your eyes for the monad pattern tonight, comment, "I see the pattern right now." Before I show you what to look for, understand what the pattern is and why it exists physically. The pattern is a geometric structure in your iris, not eye color, not shape of the eye, structure within the iris itself. It appears as specific arrangements of lines, rings, or divisions that form recognizable geometric patterns. And it's not random. It's frequency made physical. When monad consciousness incarnates into material form, it can't enter dense matter without leaving a signature. The eyes are the primary interface between consciousness and physical body. They're literally the point where awareness looks out through flesh. And when monad frequency consciousness enters during fetal development, it imprints the iris tissue with its geometric signature. Like a frequency stamp, the pattern forms as the iris develops, encoding the monad frequency into physical structure. Not everyone has it, because not everyone is monad incarnated. Human souls don't carry monad frequency, so their irises develop without the geometric pattern. Standard iris structure, no encoding. But monad souls, the pattern is there from birth. Permanent, unchangeable. You either have it or you don't. And Jesus knew what to look for. He could glance at someone's eyes and know immediately if they were monad consciousness or human consciousness. That's how he selected the inner circle. Not randomly, not based on personality, based on the pattern. Only monad souls got the activation teachings, because only monad consciousness can be activated. You can't activate what isn't there. Jesus didn't teach everyone the same things. The crowds got parables, stories about farmers and seeds and lost coins, moral lessons anyone could understand and apply. But the inner circle got something different. Activation techniques, methods to awaken monad consciousness that was dormant. And the inner circle was selected based on one criterion, the eye pattern. He'd look at someone, see the pattern, know they're monad incarnated, and pull them aside for deeper teaching. If they didn't have the pattern, he'd give them the public teachings, and send them on. Not because he was elitist, because monad activation techniques don't work on human consciousness. You can't activate something that isn't present. Trying to teach activation to someone without monad consciousness would be like trying to teach someone to use a limb they don't have. Pointless and frustrating for everyone involved. The eye pattern was the filter, the identification method that let him know who could receive what. And the Church erased this from Scripture because it destroys the universalist narrative they built their power in. Everyone is equal. Everyone has the same potential. Everyone needs the same path to salvation. But if some people are monad souls and others aren't, and you can identify the difference by looking at eyes, the whole institutional equality framework collapses. So they removed it, kept the parables, erased the identification method. Before I show you the 3 types of patterns, understand something critical. If you don't have the pattern, that doesn't make you less valuable. It means you're having a human soul experience, which has its own purpose and beauty. But if you do have it, everything changes, because you're not supposed to be operating as human consciousness. Your monad consciousness that forgot what it is, and seeing the pattern in your own eyes triggers remembering. Most chosen ones describe it as instant recognition, not surprise, recognition, like looking in the mirror and finally seeing what was always there but you weren't trained to notice. You're about to learn the 3 types of monad eye patterns Jesus identified, what they look like, how to see them in your mirror, and what each pattern means about how your monad consciousness operates in material form. 2 minutes from now, you'll know if you're monad incarnated or not. And if you are, you'll never look at your eyes the same way again. Tonight before you sleep, you're going to a mirror with good lighting and looking at your eyes. Not glancing, looking. Into the iris, past the color, at the structure. And you're checking for one of 3 patterns. Here's what Jesus looked for. First pattern, radial spokes. Look at your iris in natural light or bright artificial light. You're looking for spoke-like lines radiating from the pupil outward, toward the edge of the iris. Not the normal radial furrows everyone has. These are deeper, more defined, often golden or lighter than your surrounding iris color. They look like sun rays or wheel spokes. Typically 7 to 12 distinct lines. If you see them, you have the transmission pattern. Monad souls with radial spokes are transmitters. Your consciousness sends frequency outward constantly. You affect reality through presence. Rooms change energy when you enter. People's moods shift near you, whether you say anything or not. You're broadcasting monad frequency without realizing it. Jesus identified these souls as natural teachers and leaders, because the spoke pattern makes them frequency anchors. When you're in a group, you stabilize the field. People unconsciously orient toward you. That's the radial pattern working. You're transmitting. Second pattern, concentric rings. Instead of lines radiating outward, you're looking for circular rings around the pupil, like tree rings or a target pattern. Usually 2 to 4 distinct rings at different distances from the pupil. They might be different shades or textures from your main iris color. Sometimes they appear as lighter or darker bands circling the center. If you see them, you have the receiver pattern. Monad souls with concentric rings are receptors. You pull information from the field. You know things without being told. You sense what's about to happen before it happens. You dream accurate predictions. That's not intuition, it's reception. You're downloading data from monad consciousness level constantly. Jesus identified these souls as natural seers and channels, because the ring pattern makes them open receivers. You're not generating the information, you're receiving it. And the rings in your iris are the physical marker of that receptive capacity. Third pattern, sectoral divisions. Your iris looks divided into sections, like a pie chart or color wheel. Different sectors might be slightly different colors or textures, usually 3 to 6 distinct sections. The divisions are clear, not blended, like your eye is made of separate pieces that came together. Sometimes one section is dramatically different from the others, like a wedge of different color cutting through. If you see this, you have the integrator pattern. Monad souls with sectoral divisions operate in multiple dimensions simultaneously. You exist here, but you're also aware of somewhere else. You have memories that don't fit this timeline. You dream of places that feel more real than waking life. You've always felt like you're living in two worlds at once. That's because you are. The sectoral pattern marks multi-dimensional monad consciousness. Jesus identified these souls as bridge builders. You're not fully here, and you're not fully there. You're the connection point between realms, and your eyes show it. The divisions in your iris reflect the dimensional split in your consciousness. 3 patterns. Radial spokes for transmitters. Concentric rings for receivers. Sectoral divisions for integrators. Jesus looked for these. If he saw one, he knew. Monad soul, ready for activation. If he didn't see any pattern, human soul. Keep it surface level. That's how he filtered. That's how he selected. And that's what you're checking tonight. Tonight you're going to a mirror, not tomorrow when you remember. Tonight, right after this video, here's exactly how to check. Get close to a mirror with good lighting. Natural sunlight is best, but bright white LED works. You want to see detail. Look at one eye at a time. Don't look at both eyes trying to compare. Focus on one. Look into your iris. Not at it, into it. Past the color, at the structure beneath. Use your phone camera if it helps. Zoom in on your iris. Take several photos in different lighting. Sometimes the pattern shows more clearly in photos than in real-time mirror viewing. The camera captures detail your eyes might miss in motion. Compare multiple photos. Look for consistency. The pattern will be there in every shot, if it's there at all. If you see radial spokes, concentric rings, or sectoral divisions, you have one of the 3 monad patterns. If your iris looks like a uniform color with normal texture and no distinct geometric structure, you don't have the pattern. And that's fine. You're having a human soul experience. Your path is different, but equally valid. But if you do see it, you'll know. It's not subtle once you recognize what you're looking for. The pattern is obvious. And the moment you see it in your own eyes, something shifts inside. You just saw physical proof. Not belief, not faith. Evidence. Your monad consciousness. The pattern proves it. You're not wondering anymore. You're seeing. The church removed this teaching because it's the ultimate red pill. It proves not everyone is the same. Some people are monad consciousness, incarnated temporarily to accomplish specific purposes. Most people are human souls native to this realm, living human experiences. That distinction destroys every universalist framework religion uses to maintain institutional power. If everyone is equal, and everyone has the same spiritual potential, and everyone needs the same path to God. The church is necessary. You need their guidance. You need their sacraments. You need their approval. But if you can look in a mirror and verify your monad consciousness by checking your iris pattern, what do you need them for? You just confirmed your identity without any institutional involvement. And if you're monad, you don't need human religious frameworks. You need activation techniques for monad consciousness, which Jesus taught to the inner circle, which the church erased. They kept the public teachings, the parables, the moral guidelines, but they removed the identification method and the activation techniques, because those tools make people independent, self-verified, self-activated, and independent people don't submit to religious authority. So the church deleted the eye pattern teaching, rewrote the inner circle selection as random, made it seem like Jesus chose disciples based on personality or circumstances, not based on verifiable biological markers that prove some are monad and others aren't. But the Gnostics preserved fragments, and tonight you have it. The identification method Jesus used, the pattern he looked for, the same pattern you're checking in your mirror. Tonight before you sleep, you're looking at your eyes. Not tomorrow, not when you have better lighting. Tonight, get to a mirror, get close, look at one iris, check for radial spokes, concentric rings, or sectoral divisions. Takes 2 minutes. And if you see it, your entire self-concept shifts. You're not human consciousness trying to become spiritual. You're monad consciousness that forgot what it is. The pattern proves it. Physical evidence. In your mirror. Right now. If you're checking your eyes for the monad pattern tonight, do 3 things right now. First, comment "I see the pattern" below. Even if you haven't checked yet, declare your intention. Let other monad souls know you're identifying tonight. Your recognition matters. Every monad that sees their pattern strengthens the collective field. You're not just discovering yourself, you're adding to the awakening momentum. Second, subscribe to Divine Codes. Advanced pattern recognition techniques are coming. How to see the pattern in other people's eyes. How to use your specific pattern type for targeted activation methods. How to connect with other monad souls based on pattern matching. This identification is foundational. More is coming. Pattern recognition is just the beginning. Activation techniques specific to each pattern type are next. Third, like this video, so other monad souls discover they can verify their identity by looking in a mirror for 2 minutes. This will be suppressed. The algorithm will bury it. But every like creates visibility for one more person who needs to see their pattern tonight. You're not just helping yourself, you're clearing the path for others. Do all 3 now. Then get a mirror, good light, and look at your eyes. Really look. Into the iris, at the structure, and see what Jesus saw when he identified monad souls 2,000 years ago. The pattern that proves you're not from here. The geometric signature that marks monad consciousness in material form. It's in your eyes. It's always been there. Tonight you're finally looking for it. And when you see it, everything changes.